Okay, let's do this. Talk to myself. Hello. It's strange. It's strange looking at myself and talking to the camera. I don't know how am I gonna do this, but I wanna do this. I do want to do this so much. And here's why. I'm a millennial. I was always told I can do it all alone. You're a strong, independent woman. You don't need a man. You just get a job. You work hard. You prove yourself. You're a successful, strong, independent woman. And I am. I did it. But that meant I always did it by myself. I never reached out to a community or tried to be part of a community. I made friends. I'm a friendly person, and I have friends all over the world who I'm still very much in touch with until today. But I do everything by myself because I can do it by myself. But this past year, 2024, was a very tough year for me. And I've been through many tough years, but this one, I mean, I can say this, every year was tough in a different way, and every year is tougher than the year before. But maybe let's talk about what was important about last year is that I learned for the first time to find a community, to reach out to a community, and to be part of a community. So at a very low moment, I decided that, and I was like job hunting. I wasn't sure what I want to do with my career or where I'm heading. I work in tech. It's been a shit show if any of you work in tech with all the layoffs and all of that. So I was like, what should I do? So I'm into AI as well. So I was like, I'm gonna start writing a newsletter. And little did I know that this newsletter will help me build a community or be part of a community or communicate with a community. And I had such a great outcome of it. I mean, in fact, actually, I landed my job, which I like right now, being a head of marketing at a startup, through this newsletter. That being said, it was the first time for me to learn that you can have a community. And now that this has been great, and it was the first taste of me trying to be part of a community, I decided that I'm gonna try this blogging and belong to the YouTube community, because there's so many women like me out there, millennial, single by themselves, powering through this life and doing it all alone. And I'm not saying that this is the way to do it. I'm actually saying we can do it alone, but maybe we don't have to. Maybe while doing it alone, we can share it with the community. Maybe we can talk about it together, what's going on. Millennials have had it hard, and I don't know who to blame, the boomers, or doesn't matter. It's the social media, it's all this you don't like it, move, you're not a tree. And that's what I did. I moved. I lived in 3-4 different countries. I visited 30, and it's I have no regrets. I loved it. It was really, really good for who I am, and this is why I am the woman I am today. I'm 38. I live in San Diego, here with my dog, all by myself, 2 blocks away from the beach. It's a great life that I built for myself, right? But then there are those tender moments that no one really talks about. Or maybe people are starting to talk about now, when millennials my age are starting to think it's okay to share those feelings and tender moments and the hopes and dreams that really didn't materialize, and maybe the loneliness of doing it all alone by myself or by ourselves. Especially with this new movement now with Gen Z and the trad wife, and the women who we don't want to work, we want to be at home, be a mom and cook for our partner until he's back home. And I look at this and I was like, interesting. That's against everything I was told growing up, where it was no, you'll have a career, you're not gonna be a wife, you're not a stay-at-home mom. There was almost shameful to ever think that, oh, I want to be a stay-at-home mom. I was like, what? You're crazy? You're a strong woman, you'll have a career. And I think every new idea has, or new movement, there is a price tag to it. And who knows what's right and what's wrong, and what works for one might not work for the other, but we're all trying, huh? So yeah, I mean, I went on a tangent, but I'm starting this video or this YouTube channel because I'm looking for a community. I'm looking for women like me. I want to inspire and get inspired. I want to share so much about my life, about this amazing, glamorous life. I talk, 2-3 languages, the countries I visit, this and that, but I also want to tell you, like, how's every day like? What I'm trying to do and how hard it is. About wanting to have kids one day. But everyone's like, oh, you're 30. You know, I can't talk about this for hours, because when I was young, everyone was like, oh, don't worry, you'll meet the one, you're so pretty, you'll meet someone, you have so much to offer. And I was like, yeah, sure, I'll meet the one, and that never happened. I never met the one, really, at least the right one for me. And then I turned 35, and they're not telling me you'll meet the one anymore. They're like, oh, you're 35. It's late. Like, fuck you. You said I'm gonna meet the one. You told me to wait, and it will come. When the time is right, it will come. So now I'm 38, going on 39. And all I can hear is, this is not gonna happen. Like, what people say to me now when I say, like, I'd like to have kids, I wanna be a mother one day, the first thing that comes out of their mouth is like, would you be willing to adopt? Really? Nothing wrong with adoption, and I might one day if this is the only path for me, but like, stop telling me. Like, I had enough of, like, because you've told me one thing, and now you're telling me the other. It's so confusing. Like, it just, like, it drives me crazy. But I'm a strong, independent woman. I'm gonna figure it out on my own. Oh, you know what? Maybe not on my own. I'm gonna figure it out with everyone watching this. Let's figure it out together. And I have so much to share about this journey, and even the mental struggle of, like, do I do it? Do I do it by myself? About this kid? And I tried a couple of years ago. I went down this path, and they went to a fertility clinic, and it was an awful experience, because the doctor was all about, and that was like 2 years ago, I wasn't even 38 yet, and I just felt like every time I saw her, honestly, I cried for hours every time, because every time I met with her, she would just focus on, like, how unlikely for me to conceive, which is really interesting. You know why? Because I don't have a history of trying to conceive and not conceiving, so I never had the chance to try. And just because I think most of the content out there, or like the story we've always knew, is a married couple or a woman who's trying to get pregnant, and she's been trying for a while and it's not happening. She had multiple miscarriages, she's been trying and it's not working, she has endometriosis, or like different things. But like what I'm experiencing now is I never actually tried, and I don't have any of those issues that I know of. And it's calling my, would you call it infertility or fertility journey? Because I think it's a fertility. I don't think at any stage of my life it has been proven to be infertility. It just haven't been tested. I didn't have the privilege, or I was not in a situation where I was like, okay, let's try and get pregnant. And it didn't happen. I just didn't try to get pregnant. So who to say that I want? Okay, there is some data and science, or like some tests that they can tell you, like, oh, what are your chances and what are the odds, but I don't know. And then no one talks about how expensive it is. Like, it is expensive. The money that you can have to put into it, and it's not covered by insurance. Only like, I'm guessing 1% of the population here in the US work at company that would cover it for you, and they would tell you like, okay, there are those number of rounds that you can go and we'll pay for it, but there's not many. I mean, my company doesn't cover it. So it's crazy. It's liberating but also upsetting, because I can go and I can try and seek this on my own, and I can set myself on a journey of like, I've been a strong independent woman, I'm going to be a strong independent mother. But what that means, how expensive is it? What kind of support will I have during this journey? And can I really do it alone? Because it's one thing moving from one country to the other, raising a dog or two. It's another raising a human being, or the emotional turmoil, or the hormones and the treatments. And yeah, I'm not even sure where to start or how to start. I mean, I guess I have an idea, but mentally it's a different story. So yeah, this is why I'm making this video. This is why I'm reaching for a community, because I want to share my story. I want to tell you what it means to be an older millennial. I want to share with you the good and the bad, the success and the failures, the adventure and the nights where I stay at home after a long work day and do nothing, maybe just watch some TV or scroll down on my phone, consume social media or TikTok, right? We don't have TikTok anymore. Last night they shut it down in the US, but it's interesting. Being a person is an interesting journey. Then being a woman, I'm sure men have their own struggle, but they've been favored in so many ways as well. But I'm not here to talk about men and women, or like why men have it easier than women and women struggle. I'm just here to talk about my journey as a millennial woman living in a foreign country. And of course, I got an accent, right? The moment I open my mouth, everyone is just like, oh, where are you from? Well, I've been here. I live here for the past 5 years. This is home. Where is home? This is home. Yeah, but where is home? Where are you from? Where is the accent from? Why do you care? Why do you care? I get it, and I get it. People are curious, and it doesn't offend me or upset me. It bores me, because sometimes I feel, and I actually do, I feel the need to repeat myself, and I do repeat myself because I feel like I'm talking and the person in front of me is looking at my features, listening to my accent, and really cannot guess where I'm from. They know for sure I did not grow up here in the US. You know, I'm not a San Diego native, but they cannot put their finger down on like where I am. They might think I look Latin, but I don't sound Latin. And then, not even sure why I started talking about this, but you know, those are like just parts and pieces of my daily life. On like every time I leave, I step outside my place and I start talking, or like, you know, just being out in the world, and like those little things happen, like where's your accent from? I did a psychedelic assisted psychedelic assisted therapy. I did a journey a couple of years ago on mushrooms, psilocybin, and you do it with a guide, and I think it was 3 or 4 mg of psilocybin, and I thought it was like after my mom passed away. And I thought the journey is going to be about my mom and my relationship with her. Quite the contrary, because the journey started with me saying out loud, like, who are we? Who are we? What are we doing? Why are we here? Why are we here on this planet Earth? What are we doing? How much have we messed up? And I think that's such a core question to me, because I constantly wonder and like ask myself, like, who am I? Who am I? And there's this philosopher, I cannot remember his name right now. It's a very interesting one. I follow him, like a modern philosopher, like he's on YouTube nowadays and always. And he said that we spend a lifetime, and if we're lucky, we might know 1% of who we really are. And I think that's true, because we're constantly evolving and changing, and you know how sometimes someone bring something in you that you're just like, oh, I didn't know that I'm like this, or like I care about this or that. And it's really the other person who kind of like, not triggered, because it doesn't have to be negative, but just like kind of like showed you this part of yourself, like, or maybe, you know, it's the people who we meet as well, and like how we learn about ourselves from those people. And if you're like me and you've traveled a bit and you've met different people, you probably have seen different sides of yourself that at the end of the day, who are we? Millennials, boomers, Gen Z, social media generation? Who am I? The immigrant who works in tech, dog mom, yoga teacher, big sister, YouTube content creator, all of them, right? Because it's hard to say I'm just one of all of those. I'm all of these things and more to come. A mother one day. I know that's a lot. And I just talk and talk and talk and talk, and you're probably lost, but aren't we all lost? Not all day, every day, but some days we're lost, and some days we really know where we're heading. Or you know what? At least me. Some days I'm lost. I have no idea what I'm doing and why I'm doing it. And some days I'm like, this is exactly what I'm doing and how I will do it. And I do it. I can't say I always know where I'm heading, but I think I'm kind of like have an idea. But like when it comes to executing it on daily basis, sometimes I'm like a blind person, just like trying to touch my way around things and see how it feels and how it sounds, and if this feels good, I'll do it, and I jump into things. I've done it. I think it's part of who I am. So yeah, that's the introduction rant video, but this is just raw and real and speaking my thoughts. I have no script. I didn't even have a bullet points preparing for this video, and you might hate me or you might feel like, yeah, I get it, I vibe with you. That's fine. But if you do, and if you vibe with me and you can relate to me and you feel like yes, this is something I'd like to know more about, or this is a journey or a community I'd like to contribute to. Follow and subscribe, and let's go on this journey together. Let's figure it out. Older millennials, what are we doing? What's next? What are we going tomorrow? Women out there by yourself, single and strong. Tell me about yourself. Let's talk. Let's be friends. Let's be friends. I want to be your friend because I'm you and we're in it together.